Hey everyone, this is Tej from the batch of 2003, and I thank God for the opportunity to share a few things from His Word for this time of morning devotion. And so, this is the life of a person that I know of, a person who was born to God fearing parents, a Christian family, was brought up in a God fearing atmosphere and accepted the Lord at a very young age and began to preach the word of God at a very young age. Very active in the church, taking up various responsibilities in school, college, and church, being part of the choir, leading the praise and worship and music, etc., etc. And people used to love to have him around, and he was also considered as an example for many to follow. But with all of this going on the outside, there was much more going on the inside, and there was much more going on in the unseen, and only the tip of the iceberg was visible to the world around him. Lust of the eyes, lust of the flesh, and pride of life, and all of these three were slowly taking over his life. But even with this happening, the life of performance continued, the life of hypocrisy continued, and the life of a whitewashed tomb continued. And you know what I mean. Um, uh, one thing on the inside and many things on the outside, or one thing on the outside and many things going on the inside. And this continued till this person reached a time of no return. Slowly and steadily he drifted from the church, from the believers, those who looked up to him and loved to have him around, and most importantly drifted away from God. And he reached a stage when he wanted to go back, but unlike the prodigal son, he did not go back. Not just the guilt, but the shame and the pride that led to the unwillingness to be portrayed as one who is lost and dead. Believe me, his parents had no clue about it, what was going on, and many of them that he knew had no clue about what was going on in his life. He was successful in portraying himself as a person who was following the Lord, growing in the Lord, and everything else was right in his life. He could still preach sermons. He could pray without life of prayer and meditation. He could still talk about Bible, have long conversations. And this is the life story of this person called Tej, and it's Tej who's speaking to you right now. I've asked and pondered over this question of how could I ever do this in my life, and how could I live a life of hypocrisy or a life of whitewashed tomb, and portray one thing on the inside and one thing on the outside, you know and the answer to this I got from the Lord, and that's what I wanted to share to you. It's a lack of discipline of personal time with God, time of praise and worship, time of prayer, time of meditating the Word of God. And I found it easier to do it in the public than in personal life, but that's what destroyed me. Psalm 63 1 says, Psalm 63 verse 1 says, "O God, you are my God, earnestly I seek you. My soul thirsts for you, my body longs for you, in a dry and weary land where there is no water." And Psalm 42 1 and 2 say, "As the deer pants for streams of water, so my soul pants for you, O God." And we know this from the life of David, a person who fought greatest of battles, but the battles within him were bigger than the battles that he fought on the battlefield. Psalm 55 verse 17 says, "Evening, morning, and noon, David prayed." Psalm 119 verse 164 says, "Seven times a day he praised God." And I think that was the key to David's life of being called a man after God's own heart. There is a warning that I have been receiving over the last few days from Revelations chapter 2, verses 2 and 3, and it came as a great warning. "Although I forsake the first love, although I have fallen from a great height, although I do not do the things I did at first, and although I have not repented from all of this, I can still live an outward life of deeds, hard work, perseverance, endure hardships, etc., etc. And that can be so true with our lives. So this is a warning that we'll have to take, a caution that we'll have to take, and because, like Shakespeare said, all the world's a stage, and we're not called to be performers, but we are called to live the life from the inside out. May God bless us and help us to live a life of a relationship with Him in personal time, and may we glorify the Lord through our lives. Thank you.